I can feel it coming on.
Okay.
I can feel it coming on.
I don't know what we're doing, but just talking, right?
Just talking. Just gonna be talking.
Unrehearsed.
Unrehearsed.
Rolling.
Ready to go.
Oh, yes, sir.
All right, we're back live from the Hive at Be Well Meat and Cider. Another episode of Challenge Unpacked. We got Wink today, the band leader, solo artist, former restaurant owner.
I've done a few of those things in life. Yeah.
You got the now you're a landlord, short-term rental landlord.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy when you say that.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff going on. Father, most importantly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Husband and father.
Husband and father. You got a lot of titles. Wear a lot of hats.
Yeah. Grandfather.
Your grandfather now, Grandpa
Yeah.
Wink.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been fortunate to wear so many hats, and I'm only 50, so.
Yeah, only I like that. Only 50.
Yeah.
You don't hear that a lot.
Well, it's just a number.
Just a number.
And I think that each year is just another year to grow wisdom and experiences.
It is.
You know.
Last week we interviewed a gal. She retired out of the Army. She's in her mid-50s. Went to the Pacific Crest Trail by herself.
Holy Moses.
2,600 miles. So age just a number.
That's incredible. Athletic things isn't something that I've been able to do for many, many years, other than perform music, obviously, which is kind of athletic.
That's very athletic. It's a lot of work.
But,
people that don't play music don't understand the physical demand of playing, especially playing gigs.
Oh, yeah. Playing and singing, too.
Yeah.
And then if you put anything of, life or emotion into it, then you get that carries, too. I mean, one thing I can say about my musical career is many times I had changes of clothes because of how much I sweat.
Yeah.
From the work that is done on stage, for sure.
Oh, for sure. It's it's a lot of work, and I think a lot of people really underestimate how much work these local artists are putting into playing these gigs. Yeah.
Yeah, from the booking aspect to the promotion to there's so much that goes into it outside of the actual performing, and then the performing while you're there, becoming part of whatever team that you're at, and whatever establishment you're at, wearing that hat for them and promoting their business as well as promoting your business. And it's a multifaceted thing that most people don't take into consideration, all the things, because when you're there and you're the entertainment, usually at least half the people that are there, the eyes are on you, and you're the entertainment, and you're guiding them through their time and their experience while they're at that said establishment. So regardless of your personal beliefs or whatever, this place is the best.
It
is the best for
best place in town
for what we're doing right now, and we're all where we're supposed to be.
Yeah, and I used to joke that you're getting paid for you're not getting paid for performing.
That's the fun part.
Yeah, that's the fun part. You're getting paid for the carrying the shit, the promoting, everything else that's involved.
You bet. There's so many things that, lead to that. It can break your back. Yeah. Literally.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It can. I know that, obviously, from my life showing me that, lifting those speakers and doing all the things for the music side of my life was definitely a big factor in my back collapsing on itself. So I know that I wish I would have had the really light gear that we have nowadays.
Yeah.
Back in the day, but they didn't make it. So.
No, I'm still carrying around the big 15-inch speaker.
Oh, no, not me. My mains are line arrays and really light. My heaviest piece now, I think, is like 39 pounds.
It's pumping out probably 1,000 watts.
Yeah, it's a little tower, EV tower.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They're 1,000 watts. They're awesome.
Yeah, technology's come a long ways the last few years.
Super helpful for us.
Yeah.
So, it keeps me working.
Yeah, it keeps you working. So you keeps you out playing gigs. You're still doing a lot of solo stuff?
As much as I can when life isn't getting me down.
Yeah.
Like right now, I just had to cancel a bunch of shows since Thanksgiving because I'm prepping for a big knee surgery for myself. So I had to
dealing with your own stuff.
Dealing with the health of this body that's been presented to me.
Yeah.
It's all right though. I am 50, so and I haven't necessarily been the best in my body all the years.
Yeah.
So been better the last 20. But
yeah, because when I first met you, you were having some health problems.
When we first met, it was right after my back had collapsed on my spine. What happened it was June 9th of 2012. I was playing a gig. I had my son's teacher's wedding, and so it was an all-day event, and I had to bring the sound system for the ceremony and for the reception. So what I would do back then was use my monitors for ceremonies.
Okay.
And then I would set all the mains, set the big rig up, and then I had a little powered head that I would run with the ceremonies, and then all I had to do was knock the 2 monitors and bring them back and daisy chain them to the drum monitor.
Yeah.
And then the main stage was then set up, and I could, move on. So I was there that day by myself, setting up, because in my band I was the only full-time musician.
Yeah.
My other bandmates, they all worked jobs or whatever. So a lot of times I would either have my friends come and help me that weren't in the band, or I would do it myself.
Yeah.
And some of that stuff back then was very heavy. And
Oh, yeah.
that day I was setting up, and when I was setting up, it was really weird. Like I felt like jello, like in my back, in my hips. It just felt off, like something was up.
Yeah.
I knew something was up, but I just was like, I come from athlete. I had a full ride scholarship to play sports as a senior in high school, and so I come from an athletic background. And
What did you play?
I played football and basketball.
Oh, wow.
Football was my main sport. Basketball was my secondary sport.
Okay.
And so I just got into some trouble as a youngster, and they revoked my full ride.
Oh, okay.
I got too much publicity that was negative, so they took
Yeah.
it away. And that's great though, because it sent me down the path where I am today. Right, it got me to be a musician and to meet my wife. I wouldn't have met my wife. So many things that happened because of that were so crucial, even though it was a big hit in my life as a young man.
Yeah.
But coming from that, it was either you're hurt or you're injured. And so if you were injured, you couldn't play. And if you were hurt, you could.
Yeah.
So I just lived in that mentality my whole life. And so that day I just felt like, I was hurt. I just needed to go through the gig and play, and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But the whole day I felt off. At the end of the show, I was really feeling weak. And at that time, I did smoke cigarettes, which is really bad for degenerative disc disease, which is something that I have. And I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
But we were breaking down the system, and the gig was over. And all I did was bend over to pick up a cord to start coiling it. And I heard and felt this pop in my back. And then it felt like somebody was dumping ice water down my spine, and it was going down my leg.
Oh.
Down my left leg, like it was just running. And I stood up, and the pain was so tremendous. What happened was I blew the last disc in my lumbar spine when I bent forward.
Yeah.
And when I stood up, all the fluids in my spine started to basically leak down through.
Ew.
And so it gives you that sensation. And then my spine collapsed on my sciatic nerve on my left side and caused partial paralysis of my left leg and a lot of damage there. And I just was like, I'm good. I got up. I was in shock. I tried to break down the rest of the gear with my bandmates.
Yeah.
I drove myself home just in absolute excruciating pain and shock. No way I should have gone and done that. And I got home still in shock, and I army crawled myself. I couldn't walk. So I army crawled myself into my bedroom, and I'm like, babe, I just need to lay down for a little bit. I'll be fine in the morning. And I laid down in the bed, and it hurt worse. And I couldn't move. And so I'm like, okay, I think we need to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
So then I went to the hospital, and they thought I was drug seeking.
Yeah.
So they stood me up out of the car, and I fell. They tried to make me stand, and
Yeah.
I fell straight on my face. And they told me that they wouldn't get me a gurney. It was a rough time at Munson.
Yeah.
They were not very kind. And then they got me in about an hour and a half or so later to my CAT scan. And they're not supposed to tell you anything or do anything, when you get those. But it was immediate. Like, even when I was in the room, they're like, this guy needs to get dilated right away.
Yeah.
They could see the damage, and it was really bad. And
Yeah.
So yeah, before I was even out of CAT scan, they had me hooked up to an IV, and they're like, "Okay, you'll be hearing from a neurosurgeon." And I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, you need to get an MRI, and you need to have back surgery."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was, and my neurosurgeon was really rough, kind of bedside manner and stuff, but really a good guy overall, and had the best intentions. But he kind of set me up like, yeah, this is a major surgery, but you'll be able to go back, playing in just like 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I'm only going to cancel a month of shows, and I'll go back to work.
Yeah.
So I tried that, and it was really a dumb move, because I ended up obviously at our show falling off the stage and breaking my shoulder, which I just barely avoided shoulder surgery from that. So yeah, that was just with me in 2012 with Soul Patch, but Soul Patch also endured a couple strokes from other band members.
Yeah, Chris had a stroke, right?
And then my drummer Mark was in almost a life-ending accident that really hammered his legs in 2009. That band, for something that started off as an accident for 2 guys, and it snowballed into this boulder that it was, and what it went through physically.
Yeah.
We joke often, especially because I have handicapped kids,
Yeah.
and I'm handicapped myself, especially after I became extremely handicapped. We called ourselves Handy Patch as a little stick, because Mark has hardware in him, and we had a couple strokes in the band. Those members are no longer playing with us, but and myself with the hardware in me, and just insane the amount of things that we endured. And the crazy part was from 2003 when we started till 2025 when we kind of ended. Every year we played at least 1 or more gigs.
Yeah.
Through it all. Through every injury, through every stroke, whether it was somebody subbing and taking care of that individual who was off at the time. But we always played. We always continued the show. We never stopped, like I said, for 23 years.
Yeah.
It was a thing that I did every week. It was something that I did. And through all kinds of things. And the biggest part probably for me when I think of it is, wow, I'm so grateful to tell these stories, but I'm really grateful for ultimately like the support of my family.
Yeah.
Because without my mom and my wife, none of these things would have ever happened.
Yeah.
Because I would not have been able to leave. My wife wouldn't have been able to join me had my mom not taken care of my kids, or my wife not taking care of the kids, or allowing these things to happen and transpire. With their encouragement and with their help. It's so amazing. And also in music that a lot of people don't know is I had the opportunity, right before I got married, I worked for a staging company out of Los Angeles called Brown United. And I was a crew chief for them, Steel, which is like all of your decking and all your structures that hold your trusses to build stages. So I worked for like Dave Matthews and X Games, and did all kinds of things, and saw that side of the business, and big levels, and really saw some unique things. I did the premiere of Armageddon, the movie at Cape Canaveral down there. It was really amazing with Aerosmith and the whole production, and all kinds of cool things. And I also did that in the music industry, and I've independently also, toured and played, I think 9 or 11 states that I've played music in. So I've had a lot of just amazing experiences from something that was an accident.
Yeah. I mean, my coolest experiences have been, some of my coolest experiences have been playing music.
Yeah.
With meeting you, meeting other people.
How many good people and experiences and things I've had just simply because I could play a guitar and sing a song.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's
and
opened so many doors.
To me, it's not something that's overly difficult. It's just kind of like breathing, which is a gift. I do practice, which makes it better, obviously.
Yeah.
But, you know, to think about the countless number of humans that I know because of it is amazing.
And you're heavy in like the festival scene, so you're meeting, all kinds of people.
Gosh, yeah.
You know?
I have had the real pleasure of meeting some amazing humans and hanging out for a weekend long at a time with some amazing names and musicians, and not only were they my mentors, but some of them even became my friends, which is really cool, you know. So
that's how I met you. I think was at a Root Nanny festival.
Oh yeah.
And I wasn't really heavy into the festival scene at that point, and I had been just playing in bars for years. And I had offers to play at festivals and never wanted to do it because I like making money.
Yeah.
You know, there's no
festivals
money.
don't make a lot of money.
You're not making money at festivals.
It's a good time.
You're
you're there for the time.
You're there for the experience. And I actually had connections with the people that own the property that Root Nanny, the Coopers.
Yeah.
So we were asked by them to go play there.
Yeah, well, that's how I kind of hooked up with you guys.
Yeah,
really,
it was at Root Nanny. Mm-hmm. And I remember meeting you. We were loading out, and you guys were loading in. And I talked to you and Adam, I think.
Yeah.
Because you were loading all your gear up. I think there's a band between us. And we were talking the backstage, and I'm talking to you, and you're just backstage. You're Chris, man. You're not Wink back there. We're just talking whatever.
Right.
And then I saw you get on stage, and that's when you turned into Wink. And it was like you flipped a switch, and you were a different person when you got on stage. And that was the first time I'd really seen anything like that in music, you know.
Oh, thanks, man.
It was awesome. You're a great front man. You're a great band leader. It was.
Thank you.
You know, you didn't see that when I was playing in bars. You didn't see that kind of stuff. You saw it at music festivals, or you saw like the front man like take over the show and like command the audience. You know.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Super impressive.
I'm very humbled by how you see me and say those words. It's extremely humbling. It makes me think of my mentors that kind of nurtured me, you know.
Yeah.
That I saw people do that, and you know, I would be crazy not to say his name. Pat Peterson from the Pipe Circus. He passed away years ago now, but he was a huge part of my life, and he was the front man for the Pipe Circus, a band from Madison, Wisconsin that I met early on in Soul Patch's career too. They actually took Soul Patch kind of under their wing, if you will, and we would go out to Wisconsin and open for them. They were a 5 to 6 piece funk reggae rock band that were very inspiring to me, and I loved all their music, and I knew it all and sang it all, and would jump on stage with them. And Pat was like electric. He was something. He was inspiring to me, and he gave me a lot of I guess freedom to do exactly what you said, because I often told him, you know, like I felt like when I was being watched, I would get a little, you know, just kind of clammed up, and he's like, well, that's not the time to do it, you know. He's like, really, just let it out. The worst that can happen is, you know, you miss or something, but it's not gonna be bad. He's like, you really just, you know, you just need to go, man. You just need to go and do it. And so, you know, it took time, but I can remember a show where I really feel like it happened for me. It was at a show in Cadillac at this place called Artsy Fartsy. There's a little art gallery in when Mando and I were first just a 2-piece.
Okay.
And we did, I think, Ants Marching, and I don't know what it was, or if it was the style of the guitar I was finally playing, but you know, I let it out.
Yeah.
And it stuck, and the place went nuts, and I was like, you know, I just got to keep doing that.
Yeah.
That whatever that was good, and I just kind of nurtured that, and I just really grew with that over the years, and then as life went on, Pat ended up getting, and we toured, like I said, they backed me up and were like the soul patch band for any time they could be.
Oh, cool.
We did a big thing in 2007 maybe or 6. I can't even remember. It was so long ago. It was called the Cadillac Jam, and they did this big music festival and basketball tournament, and they had Grand Funk Railroad and a few other big names. And we were actually with the Pipe Circus at that time, and I'm like, yeah, and my buddy who was promoting it, he's like, can you come through? And I'm like, yeah, I'll actually have a 6-piece, full band, we're touring. And he's like, cool. So we ended up, putting on this giant stage right before Grand Funk, and it was really, really cool. And, just so many things that I experienced just simply because of learning how to play guitar. And then through that time, I ended up getting members, and Soul Patch ended up growing, and I ended up playing festivals with the Pipe Circus. Out in Wisconsin and different things, and that's where I met Wookie Foot and those guys and that crew, and it's just been one great thing after another because I met those guys. For not only me as a musician personally, but also for my connections in the industry, and just really showing me that it can be done on your own. Like Pat was that guy. He and I would talk when I had my restaurant. Pat would call me up at least 3 or 4 times a week, and I'd be on the phone with him while I'm cooking orders, and we were planning tours and talking about what we were going to do, and it was just us. There was nobody else that was going to do it for us. So that was when MySpace was just a little blink of a thing, and there was no Facebook and no social network. YouTube was just starting. And it was all word of mouth and handshakes. And I lost Pat though to brain cancer. I think it was in 2012.
I think it's important too when you have those people, because you did it yourself, And when I opened up the message to ask you about coming to do the podcast, the last messages I had from you was you giving me booking information for places in Traverse City. So you were helping me out, at the time. So, and then you guys, and after meeting you at Root Nanny, I think you called me like the following week, and we ended up doing that thing at the Good Work Collective with you guys, like that. And then we ended up playing at Right Brain with you guys a couple times. And we did some Union Street stuff with you guys.
Well, I just loved your vibe, right? I loved what you guys did. You reminded me of myself in the band in our early years with you had the fiddle, which I had a mandolin, and myself on acoustic guitar. So it was just a little bit different, but it, definitely struck a chord with me, and the vibrations you carried and the way that you carried yourself, and the willingness to jump on board to do the fundraiser for my son.
That was awesome.
And doing that was awesome. And I think that, that would be a great example of not everyone, that's often spoke of the music community being this incredible family. And I give a lot of respect to that, and I do tip my hat, but it is also very challenging at the same time.
It is.
And so having people that actually have a vibe, have integrity, do what they say, don't overpromise and underdeliver, which is a disease of the entertainment industry.
For sure.
And so, I think it was important that it's a good example of exactly what you're saying in life. Just by being yourself and being authentic. It allowed us to do what we did so many times.
And you guys Soul Patch 20-something years you guys played?
23
years.
I mean, we are retired, if you will, but we've, we never say never. But right now, music for me is truly just a job and a monetary influx for me. I'm trying to get to a point in my life where I want to play maybe 1 or 2 shows a year for fun and make them events, and that's about it. That would be great for me until I can't do it anymore, because just playing in my house for my kids and stuff is plenty for me. I've been blessed with an astronomical number of shows, an astronomical number of miles, an astronomical number of people to play in front of, from 0 to 5,000, or more. It's I've played to empty rooms, and I've played to ginormous crowds.
Yeah, people have asked me before. It's the scary playing in front of hundreds of people. That's not scary. Scary is playing in front of 2 people.
Yep.
That's
Much scarier.
Yeah, I'd rather play in front of 500.
When it's just
people.
a few, and they can hear every little mistake.
Yeah, when you're playing in front of 3 people at a bar, that's the worst experience.
Yeah, or then they're not paying attention.
They're not paying attention.
And
yeah.
it's like you're just this fly on the wall that really doesn't need to be there.
No,
and you're trying to fight through that feeling too.
You're a TV. You're a TV at that point.
Yeah, or the game's on, and they're like,
game's
turn
on.
down.
Yeah, you guys turn down a little bit. And the game's right behind you on the TV.
Yeah,
I think we've all been there.
Cheering for the touchdown.
We used
you're
to.
Not even done playing.
I used to play at the casino in Petoskey a lot. We do a lot of gigs there, right on the game floor, and you're playing in front of thousands of people who are not watching you at all.
Right.
It's the weirdest experience. You can do whatever you want because you can play whatever you want because nobody's watching. Nobody's there for you.
I know.
Yeah.
I know gigs like that, and I've had them, and
sometimes the best paying gigs that are like that too.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
A lot of times they are, and it's very strange that it's just kind of something that they're like, hey, we're going to provide live entertainment. We have the money, so we're just going to do it.
We're just going to do it, yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter if it's enjoyed or not. It's
they're just
going to be there.
We can advertise.
And the musicians that get it is, it's a catch-22.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if you're willing to do the gig, cool. But it's that. I don't like to say selling your soul type of thing, but it kind of is.
It is.
I've known people in the business that have been doing it as original artists for years, and all of a sudden they're like, "Bam! I got this tribute band. I'm making $1,000+ bucks, $2,000 a gig.
Not making money."
Why do I want to go?
I don't want to
hustle and bustle and do all that,
write songs and do all
for
that
nothing.
For nothing,
for peanuts. Well, they're paying me to play this guy's songs and sound this way, So
yeah.
I know that many people that have done that. I've also seen original acts, very similar bands to like Soul Patch, right? That play originals and covers and mix them all together.
Yeah.
Right. And I've also seen those types of acts just be like, dude, we are done with bars and festivals. We're a wedding band. That's it.
Yeah.
And flip the covers just to make money because you can make so much money during the season that you don't necessarily have to work as much in the off season and so on and so forth. There's so many things. And so it all depends on how you frame it and all depends on how the music feeds your soul.
Yeah.
If you're touring to feed your soul with the music and the energy of the people and that whole thing, then please, bust it, stay original and stay true to yourself. But if you're trying to make money and you're just doing that, and find whatever way you can. If it's covering songs, then do it.
Oh man,
pay your bills.
I was super into music theory, and I went to college for a while for it. And I had a good understanding of music theory, and I could read music a little bit. So I got all kinds of weird. I used to do dinner theaters.
Oh wow!
I used to play in dinner theaters where it was like Frank Sinatra, that crooner type music.
Yeah.
We had risers, and we stood behind sat behind the riser. I had to wear a suit and tie for it and everything. But it was the best paying gigs I've ever had. I was getting $300 a night, just me alone for those gigs. So it wasn't very fulfilling at all as a musician. But man, that was paying the bills. There's a while there where I was playing. That's all I did was play music for a couple of years and didn't have a regular job. But I had to do gigs I was playing 5 different bands to make this happen.
It's definitely not something you can do just once a week.
No, I was doing it 3-4 times a week with multiple different bands, and it was like, it made me hate playing music. Is what happened.
I can say that I burnt myself out probably pretty good the last 5 years or so. Of my musical career for sure. Yeah. One, I'm a non-drinker. 2. I'm aging and I want to be, home more with my family, and I just want to be home. And I was having to, because of monetary, things, work as much as I could.
Yeah.
I'm on disability because of my disabilities, but it doesn't make even a mortgage payment.
No.
So, and you can only work so much. Otherwise, they take away your disability, and you can only make so much. Otherwise, they take away your disability and your benefits. And so, being a musician was the best job that I could have as a disabled person, for sure.
Yeah.
Because I follow within the hours. I don't actually work physically more than 8 hours a week.
Yeah.
Actual physical at the site working.
Yeah.
And so doing that for me was the way to go.
Yeah.
It was the only way I could do it. But what got to the point where when I was working those, taking those 8 and 10 hour weeks, those 3 to 5 nights a week, couple hours a night.
Yeah.
It was just draining my body and draining me emotionally too.
Yeah.
Because I do put emotion into every set I play, regardless if it's just me by myself or me with the band. I think music in conveying it and bringing it is a gift, and it's beautiful, and it's harmonious, and I think it deserves emotion. And so I always provide that. So in doing that and being disabled, and I'm also finding I was just recently diagnosed with Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid autoimmune, which makes you extremely fatigued. So I've been wondering why I'm so tired, and so I've been doing all of these things and finding all these things out later in life that I was probably dealing with for much of my career.
Yeah.
And all I did was continue to grind until obviously I broke myself in 2012, and then I continued to do that through to where obviously, I was ready to be done.
Yeah.
When it came to 2025, and then having to go back and play was not the end of the world, because I do love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And but all the challenges that I have already overcome and trying to get to the point of not having to do it, then having to go back and do it.
Yeah.
Was kind of tough. It was kind of like swallowing that pride and going, I got to come back to work.
Yeah.
Because money is tight and times are tight, and there's no other job that I can make what I make as a solo musician,
Oh, for sure.
I'm thankful for it. Super grateful. But I also really needed that little break I got. Thankfully, I didn't know how much I needed it, but it was great. From January to almost May, I don't think I picked up my guitar barely at all.
Yeah, it's nice to probably just let loose and just...
I just didn't do it,
Yeah.
And it was because it was like I looked at it and it still felt like work.
Yeah.
So I wanted to wait until I looked at my guitar case and it felt like, here's my guitar again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or I pick it up and just want to strum and play a few chords just to hear it.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that in my life because I was constantly picking it up to work.
Yeah. And it's funny when you're younger and you start making money doing that, and how cool it is. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was a teenager when I started playing in bars, and just when I was making money to start playing my guitar, that was like it was mind blowing to me. Like, I couldn't believe that it wasn't a lot of money, but you're making money.
People paying you.
But then it gets to the point where it's like, oh, I have to go do this for money now. Like, I have to do this thing that I want to do something different now. But
it's just like anything, right?
Yeah, it's like anything. When
Right.
you get money involved, it kind of spoils it.
Yeah, and I tell people this all the time. A lot of people ask me what I was going to do when I retired, or if I was going to miss it, and I was like, well, no, yes and no.
Yeah.
Like, part of me will miss certain things, sure, but as for the extras that come along and the amount of work that it does take, I won't miss that, because I've done it for a really long time.
Yeah.
And I did it, like I said, independently, mostly by myself.
Yeah.
And in doing that, I've injured myself and done all kinds of things, but I've always been able to still do it, which makes it also beautiful.
Yeah.
Through it all, I can still, now when I play, I can't stand.
Yeah.
Because I've done too much damage to my left side. So I've bought this really fancy throne, and I sit and play, and I use my little kicker. And just play, and it's not much different. I don't think, at least people are telling me it's not.
Yeah.
Like, I still put a good amount of emotion into it, and even though I'm sitting down, but it's been an interesting shift, because I've had to age, and the way my body's deteriorating, and medications coming into my life and stuff, and it makes you dehydrated and all kinds of things, and it's just like, oh man. So I was very nervous to even go back to work. I played like every day, because I didn't play for so many months. I ended up picking my guitar up every day for at least 2 30-minute sessions every day to rebuild my calluses and to
Yeah.
get my dexterity back up. And now I've actually taken time off again recently
Yeah.
because of my knee surgery that's coming up, and I'm gonna have to do that again
Do it all
coming up
again.
in January because I'm starting to book for 2026, but I don't know how much to book because I don't know how my knee is gonna react.
Yeah.
So I'm in this little bit of a current float
Yeah.
mode.
Just treading water
And,
right now.
yeah, and as soon as I'm out of my surgery next week, I'll be like, okay, I think by February, I'll really be able to hit it. So I'll hopefully reach out and start lining up gigs for
Cool.
2026. And I always hope to go out to Beaver Island. That place is like home to me.
Oh yeah.
I've been the MC out there for several years. I always hope they invite me back. There's never a guarantee, but
Yeah. Is that for the music festival?
yeah.
Yeah.
I would strongly recommend everybody at least visit that place once, if not twice.
Yeah.
Once for the music festival and once maybe just for the island itself. It's very sacred land and,
Yeah.
and very wonderful, and the people are amazing. And the music festival is a really unique one. If people are into anything like camping and music or music festivals, I strongly recommend
It's a
people
good one.
to do that one. It's
Yeah, I've never been
unique,
there.
unique in so many ways.
I've been to every place in Michigan. That's like the one place in Michigan I've never been to Beaver Island. It's right there. I should go there.
I strongly recommend it,
It's-
Shane, for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I'm a half hour from Charlevoix, so I should
Oh man,
make the trip over there when I get better.
you bet.
How's the family doing? How's Dre doing?
Well, pretty good. I mean, it took years with him. He was functioning, and then in 2023 he went down and became bed and wheelchair bound, and we went on that 18-month-ish journey, several hospitals and several specialists, and really no answers.
Yeah.
Unfortunate side. I mean, we think we have a pretty good idea, but with Dre being the person that he is, with his cerebral palsy, his IQ, or brain, where he operates like a 3 to 6 year old, and he doesn't, really advocate for himself in pain or hunger or anything for that matter. The tests that they would have to do to verify what we believe that it is, you need his response, and it's not something that he would give.
Yeah.
So, but from what we can tell, one thing my wife and I with Dre really tried to do was not put him in a bubble.
Yeah.
We knew he was going to fall, and we knew he would have troubles, but we didn't want to
Yeah.
put him in a bubble.
Yeah, you have a lot of gigs and
And
stuff.
so,
I remember seeing him at the
yeah.
gigs. Yeah.
He's my main man for sure.
Yeah.
But he fell a lot on his bum. It would fall backwards. We would call it the Dre fall. He would kind of put his finger up and put his leg up, and then boom, kind of fall and roll. And you never knew if it really hurt or not. And there were a couple times, he fell pretty hard, and
Yeah.
all he would do was laugh.
Yeah.
And so we never knew what was happening. And in 23, when he did advocate for pain, the pain that he did advocate for was in his legs,
Yeah.
and in his knees, and in his hips. And so through all the testing that we did, all the way to Mayo Clinic and Cleveland Clinic and all those places, ended up Jeremy Reisig or Jay Hobbs from Function.
Oh, drummer. Yeah. Yeah.
He was Brother James, then just changed to Jay Hobbs. He was actually Soul Patch's first drummer.
Okay.
But he had a specialist, I believe, out in Colorado or California that read over Dre's case and wanted to talk to us, and does like some surrogate work with like kinesiology work, kind of like with my wife being the surrogate, right? Talking through her.
Yeah.
And many things. And then we also talked to another guy, and the overall conclusion is that Dre has pudendal neuralgia, and pudendal neuralgia is the pudendal nerve. There's two major nerves that run right through the coccyx and the tailbone,
Yeah.
and they're connected to your legs. They're connected to your urethra and all kinds of different things in this area that cause, if you have a crushed pudendal nerve, you can have extreme leg pain radiating from hips to toes, incontinence of all kinds, and all of Dre's symptoms.
Yeah.
line up. And
Yeah.
all of the things that would cause him pain, when we explained this to these two specialists, they said, absolutely, this is what we believe it is, and that's how we would go about life, and this is what we would do. So we've been doing that. It's like a heavy autoimmune, as well as Western medicine and this heavy autoimmune. And Dre is needs round-the-clock care and on round-the-clock medication, but he's pretty much himself again.
Yeah, that's
you
good.
know, at home and in his chair and with us.
Yeah.
And he's happy when people come over again. At first, for a while, he didn't want visitors.
Yeah.
You know, so those types of things. So, you know, he's getting better and plateauing or finding a comfortable space. We, as a couple and as a family, are still adapting the best that we can.
Yeah.
Because we need help if we ever want to do anything together or anything like that. So a lot of dividing and conquering and a lot of challenges in life with that. But, you know, we're making the best of it.
Yeah, it's tough when you're at the mercy of the medical system. The
medical system is a challenge for sure.
A challenge.
I'm sure you're experiencing it yourself.
You feel like a science experiment. And I've never trusted doctors my whole life. So now it's like,
probably not so much anymore either.
No, yeah, it's not. They're not helping
things, are they?
They're not helping things, but it's like it's detective work. They're just trying to figure out.
They're really trying.
You're just hoping to find that one specialist or that one doctor that kind of puts the pieces together and can figure it out.
I know you'd think with all the technology we have and the ability to speak that we would be able to figure things out, but it's almost like the vets and their technology can figure out a dog quicker than they can figure us out.
Because they're not listening. The doctors aren't listening to you.
Yeah. That's for sure.
I think my doctor, when I first started going in, was just thinking I was trying to get pain pills or something like that.
Yeah, that's number one. Well, that was a big thing that happened with Dre.
Yeah.
They thought we were using him to
get the pain pills.
To seek medication.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a really, really, really sad scenario. The epidemic with that in this country, and especially up here in northern Michigan, it's really, 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 really insane.
It is. It's sad.
I know a lot of people have struggled, but all of those, there's a lot of things in place for pharmaceuticals and for all the things.
Yeah.
But people are so incredibly triggered in this area, especially, that there's a lot of neglect that happens.
Yeah.
It probably happened to you at first.
Oh, for sure.
Happened to me, like I shared, when they wouldn't get me a gurney.
Yeah.
They made me fall on my face. They didn't believe me. They literally, first, they don't believe you. First, you are a criminal up here.
Yeah. Oh,
first, you're drug seeking. You're not actually in pain.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite that you get in some of the most major of cities, which is really strange.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you an example. When we were dealing with Dre up here in Traverse City, if we came into any entrance in Traverse City, Michigan, we got metal detector, we got heavy security, we were scrutinized, the whole nine.
Yeah.
Like where you are a criminal walking into the hospital. But in Grand Rapids or Detroit, nothing. Not a single person, just people saying hello, being very kind, opening doors for you. If it's the ER, yes, there's a metal detector and you do have to go through that in the ER. But as for anywhere else, no.
Yeah.
When you have a pain medication on your file, they don't treat you different than they do here.
Yeah.
It's really, 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 really challenging and strange, and living in it and dealing with it to this day with Dre and myself now, obviously. It's gut wrenching.
It is.
It's too bad, but it is the system that we have, and we unfortunately it is what it is.
Trapped in it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good he's doing better though, and you kind of.
It's amazing that he's doing better. We didn't see a lot of light in him or at the end of any tunnel for a while for him. So
that's awesome.
We're really grateful.
Yeah. So let's go back to Soul Patch. How did Soul Patch start?
Oh, well, it was a whim right around the corner from here, actually. I was supposed to play a solo show, and at that time, I really was only going to be a solo musician. I had left the band about a year previously, and I honed my guitar skills, and I had probably about maybe 25-ish songs, 30 songs in the can that I could perform. And then I had a DJ set up. So I would offer like places either for weddings or for a place. I would come and do like 2-hour acoustic set and then play a couple hours of DJ tunes for dancing immediately following.
Yeah.
And it was kind of this little shtick I did. It was called Simple. And that's what I wanted to do in music, and that was it. I didn't want to have band members. I wanted to just really do that. Well, I had a gig cancel, and all my gear was in my car. And out of the blue, my buddy calls me. I'm on my way home from the canceled gig, and my buddy calls me. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm on my way home from a canceled gig, kind of bummed, not playing. And he's like, "Well, you want to come up to Kalkaska area in the Rapid City and play this little festival? The band canceled, and they're just trying to throw musicians on stage, and they're running out of tunes, and they need somebody for a few hours. Do you mind coming up?" And I was like, let me check. I'll check with my wife real quick. And I called up Tanya, and I was like, "Hey, got this opportunity. Do you care? Instead of me playing out here, I'm gonna go up there. It'll make me later." She's like, "No, go ahead." So I went up, and I showed up, and it was this thing, a little place it was called Wright Stock is what it was called.
Okay.
It's put on by the Wright family, and they're wonderful people. I know them still. I love them very much. And a guy named Mike Peck, who's a stonemason from the area, Rapid City area, he was there, and he was jamming with the folks, and he was playing mandolin. And I met him as I went on stage. Like, they got done jamming, and they're like, "Okay, Wink's gonna come up and do a solo show." And as I was setting up and tuning up, Mando came up to me, and he's like, "Hey, you mind if I jam with you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no problem, man. It's fine by me." And so we jammed, and for like 3 hours, all my songs, everything I had in the can. It went great. Everybody loved it, all the sing-alongs, and Mando and I hit it off really well, and it was really fun and really cool. And I thanked him, and I said, "Thank you so much, man. It was great." He's like, "Hey, man, let me get your number." And I was like, "Sure." I gave him my phone number. And I'm like, just so you know, I'm not really wanting to start a band right now. But, thanks a bunch. I'm sure we'll jam again. And he literally called me almost every day for about 3 weeks. Like 3 weeks nonstop. I don't think he took a day off, asking me to jam, asking me to play, asking me to start a band. And that was the summer of 2003, and the first Hoxeyville music festival was called Coyote Crossing Music Festival at the time. They were getting ready to go off, and they asked me if I would play. And I said, "Well, yeah, actually, I got this guy's beating me up, and we got this little duo. We'll call ourselves Second Time, because it's the second time we're playing, and we'll be there." And they were like, cool. And so I called him up, and I'm like, "Hey, man, I got this gig. Not planning on it anymore, so we'll just call ourselves Second Time, and we'll call her good." He's like, "Okay." He comes down, and we do the same thing, and it was great. Some original tunes, and he jumped on board with my originals, and it was great. And I was like, "Man, this is cool, man. Thanks so much," And then I left, and that was gonna be it.
That's it.
Hounded me next day, didn't stop. And so I was like, "All right, man, we're a band." And I'm like, he's like, "What are we gonna be called?" And I'm like, "Well, I said if I was gonna ever have a band, I was gonna call it Soul Patch. So you like Soul Patch?" And he's like, "Yep." I'm like, "Okay, so we're Soul Patch." And then that's how it started, and then it morphed, and I found a couple guitar players through the years that kind of sat in and did stuff the first year. Nothing that really stuck. And then in 2004, I was the manager of Bowers Harbor Inn in the Bowery, and I met my bass player for 16 years, Chris Bellinger. And I met him, and he and I hit it off real well, and he brought something that we didn't have in a bassist, and it was so nice to have that bottom end, and he filled out so much. And then we had a different drummer for a little bit. Jeremy Reisig was supposed to be the drummer. Jeremy was going to be the drummer because he was good friends with Chris.
And
they were buddies and roommates, and so he was the first drummer, and then he took off and went to see the world before we even had a gig.
Yeah.
And then we had a guy named Tom Noble play drums for us for a short period. And then in 2005, I met Adam. He came up from Tennessee through Seabell.
Okay.
And then also I had a cancellation that I had booked at Bowers for New Year's Eve, and John Wunsch, who does all kinds of things at Interlock, and he was a guitar player for us at Bowers and classically trained, amazing. He recommended Mark Alderman as a drummer.
Okay.
And I got a hold of Mark, and we ended up having like 2 or 3 rehearsals, and we put on a New Year's Eve show at Bowers. It was great. People
Awesome.
loved it, and the rest was history. It kind of just
snowballed.
Took off from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a neat. We weren't just Soul Patch at that show. We were Soul Patch and friends, because Mando and I were Soul Patch with Seabell, and Adam was just starting to commit to the band, and Mark wasn't committed to the band.
So you guys are just we
were
just
Soul
friends.
Patch and friends, and so eventually it all just became Soul Patch. And we went through very few members. We had the same members for almost 16 or 17 years. And then I changed bass players in 2020 and had some other soloists come and go throughout the time, on horn, on keyboards, and different things throughout the years. And had a couple different auxiliary and other lead guitarists and stuff. But as for the main number of us, with Adam, myself, and Mark, it was Mando and Seabell were the originals. But Mark and myself and Adam are still technically playing and still in the band, and we're not actively gigging right now, but 23 years and counting for whenever that,
Wow.
Like, I think I jammed with Adam once at a funeral thing, golf scramble thing we do every year for a friend of ours that passed away, and we jammed once. It was great. And anytime we do that stuff, it's always amazing. And I still visit with those guys occasionally. I love them all. We talk on the phone and catch up and see how things are going.
That's when you're in a band with people like that. It's family,
Yeah,
it's tough
absolutely.
when they do, and because it's a relationship that's
I really enjoyed the newest member, if you will, Kevin Gills playing bass.
Okay.
Kevin is a longtime friend of mine, and now being a musical partner, it's been amazing too.
Yeah.
So he's been a great addition and a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you guys are all the nicest guys too. I like doing gigs with you guys. It was fun. We always had a good time playing with you guys, and you had Blake Elliott when I first met her, she was singing backup for you guys.
Yeah, that was 2011. That was an interesting time. We had an interesting lineup. We had the 5 of us that I just spoke of, and then we had DJ Nest on percussions and scratching, and then Blake Elliott would sing backing vocals, and sometimes my daughter would come to shows and sing backing vocals too. So we had several different kind of lineups, if you will, that always came along with us and always made it fresh and different. And that's one thing we always tried to do, even though we played every year and even though we never really took too much time off. We always tried to write a couple new tunes, learn a couple new songs, and always try to freshen it up, and never write a set list to try to never play the same show,
Yeah.
And that was something that we really took pride in. Some people thought it was crazy, but we thought it was great.
No, you guys were a tight band. You guys were, it was cool.
Oh, it's been fun.
Yeah.
And it took many years to get there, and a lot of rehearsals and a lot of things. And that's, probably the main reason why there's not a lot of traction happening after 23 years, because to do all the rehearsals and do all the things again like we did when we were
a lot of energy
in our 30s
Yeah.
and stuff just doesn't happen anymore.
No, it's tough, man. Like we were talking before, it's so much work goes into it.
It is.
People don't see how the sausage is made.
Yep.
For very little pay, for very little reward, but you're doing it.
Especially with the band.
Especially with the band. The more
you're
members,
you're dividing that cake up all those ways.
Yeah.
And equally too.
Equally,
I always thought it was important, and I think that was one thing that a lot of people, I talked to a lot of people in the business. Managers would take their cuts, booking people would take their cuts. Everybody felt that they had a piece or whatever that they were entitled to. And one thing I never did in Soul Patch was that.
Yeah.
As long as I could get commitments from the guys, I felt like that was their commitment to me.
Yeah.
And so once we were there, if everybody did the equal amount of work, I felt like it was cool to just do equal splits.
Yeah.
And if it was $1 or $2, I would take it.
Yeah.
For the booking or for the gas or whatever. But we always try to divide things up in costs. If we were traveling together, the band paid for gas and stuff like
Yeah.
that. We never tried to make it all fall on one individual. We tried to do it as diplomatically as possible. And
For sure.
It was a challenge though, because you can only do so much as an individual, and so there were times that I was like, okay, I can't handle the money, so you need to handle the money. I can't handle promotions, you need to handle promotions.
Yeah.
And so there were times that I had to delegate things in the management side that kind of sucked, because I would want things to get done at a certain time and they couldn't because of other obligations and things. So those are challenges that a lot of people don't know about. And then communication, just trying to land all the people who get in the boat to do the gig. That's really challenging.
It is.
It's hard to do your own schedule, let alone 5 other guys.
You got a bunch of girlfriends. When you're in a band, they're your girlfriends.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the closest relationship, and especially when you play music with people that long.
It's a very intimate relationship.
It's a very intimate relationship. Mm-hmm. My friend Connor, that I've played with for years, I don't have that. We've been playing music on and off since high school together, so it's like I don't have that relationship with anybody else. And when we're playing music together, we know each other's tricks. We know exactly what we're gonna do, what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I could play a show, I feel, with my band right now after not playing for a year, and I don't think there would be too many hiccups other than the rust on our fingers.
Yeah, you just jump right back into it.
Yeah, I think that the timings, and I would just nod, and the looks, and it's one of those things that everyone knows that after you do it for a certain amount of time, it doesn't take much.
Yeah.
When you're and the hard part in a jam band, if you will, is when is the hook? When is the hook going to come back? When is the change? We had little things that we would do, raise our foot, things like that make it so, people knew without knowing, without making it be too much of a distraction on stage.
Yeah. I remember actually sitting with you guys a couple of times, and Adam would jump on the banjo and give me his guitar to play with you guys, and you guys had it down to a system though, how you were running through the solos. And
It
was cool. That was fun, a lot of fun.
That's the way to do it. It's just like any other fine-tuned machine, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're operating on all cylinders and you're firing and you're making the harmony, there's no need not to follow it.
Yeah.
Just let it flow. And so I think that was so fun to do so many times. Yeah, it's I actually think I just saw some photos of Leif and us jamming at one of our shows together. That guy's an incredible talent.
He is appreciated, man. He is incredible talent. I saw him a couple years ago at a blues festival, and
he's amazing.
I hadn't seen him in a long time. And super. So many talented people from Michigan.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, we're super lucky.
Yeah,
that we have such a great state that we, can say we come from and be a part of. There's so many greats that come from this state.
Oh yeah.
Not just. I mean, we also have Motown, which is huge. That's one of the biggest gifts that we have in Michigan is Motown. So, not to mention all the nuggets that are scattered throughout.
Yeah. From
Ypsi and Ann Arbor to Grand Rapids and Traverse City and West Michigan, and there's so many greats that are part of my life. For sure.
We had a thriving music scene in Northern Michigan. I feel like it's dying off right now. I hope it comes back.
I hear you.
But in the 2010s, we kind of peaked. There was a huge music scene going on. That was kind of the rise of Billy Strings at the time. And
I really, I rode the decade hard, 10 to 20. I played very hard through that time, both solo and with the band. And we had great success. 14, 15, 16, huge for us. 17 was pretty good. 18 was pretty good. 19 was big, probably one of our biggest years collectively, like shows wise, attendance wise, reaction wise, the whole vibe, right? And then it's the strangest thing. I've shared it with many people, but at the strike of midnight 2020, we were playing Union Street, and we played every year. At midnight, we would drop into Old Lang Syne.
Yeah.
And we would play it real slow and melodic at first, and then just like totally punk ska out.
Yeah.
And, you know, have a blast with it for a good 2-minute run. Crazy solos, people jump in, right? For whatever reason, 2020, like, drop at midnight, everybody botched the tune. It was horrid.
Yeah.
It was like cats scratching their nails down a chalkboard and screaming like awfulness. And I looked at the guys and I'm just like, because it wasn't one that I did musically.
Yeah.
I just would sit back and strum a chord and wait.
Yeah.
You know, really simple for me. And I was just like, oh my word. And it was crazy. And then that happened, and we kind of fought through that, and we brought it back with a good jam to close our set. And then Avid Kane went to go up and play, and it took 90 minutes or so for changeover. They lost a huge crowd. It was just a mess, a whole bunch of technical issues, and it was like the strangest and weirdest thing. Like at the strike of midnight 2020, the world went and literally just kind of carried, and I don't think it stopped.
No,
I really don't. I really think that all that craziness that has happened the end of 2019 into 2020 and all throughout, I don't think that vibe has really changed. I think it's all, we've been kind of rewired and miswired since then, and it's been a challenge to exist, I think, for anyone.
Yeah.
I think I've seen more challenges and a lot of separation in many ways from, you know, not just, you know, musical groups, but people I know in life separating, and just crazy the amount that's happened over the last 5 years. And I'm awestruck at it, at how different the vibe has been in the last 5 years. And I would say also in that, as crazy as it was and as awesome as it was for the band leading up to that, because I was willing to work in 2020, my solo career like launched.
Just took off.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And so I am thankful for that at the same time, right? Because it took a solo career that I would beg for $100 to $150, you know, to have me come out, to easily getting $250 to $500, for myself.
Yeah, you adapted.
You know, so that was a huge, huge thing for me, and one of the greatest gifts of the rewire, if you will, that I think that happened from 2020 is like I said, it was strange. I look back at my Facebook memories and I can think of, man, the vibes that we had at different shows, you know, going into 2020. We had one particular weekend, we played the Vista at Crystal Mountain, and then we played the next night, we played St. Ambrose before they had their new room, just the main room.
Okay.
So it was 2019 before their new room, and the vibes and the loudness of the people in those rooms was something that I can't explain. Give an example. 2016 Hoxeyville, we had our set, and it was in the afternoon when it was raining.
Yeah.
So we were in the tent at the Michigan stage. At the tent, and the entirety of the festival was pretty much in the tent. So a couple thousand, 4,000 people probably jammed in that thing. And when we got done playing our last song, the crowd was so loud and the energy was so much. It was breathtaking. Literally took your breath away and it hurt your ears, and was unreal to feel and so cool. And I had never experienced anything like that other than when I was a roadie and Dave Matthews was sitting in front of us. The Dave Matthews Band, and then there was 37,000 screaming fans at Foxborough Stadium, and we were right behind them because we were the roadies, and so we just sat backstage because those seats weren't sold. So we just watched the show from backstage.
That's awesome.
Listened to the crowd roar right in front of you. And it was
Yeah.
so unreal. So it was just an amazing experience to feel that energy. No, it wasn't for me, obviously, at the Dave thing.
Yeah.
And just to see what it was, to experience that directionally, right? And then to have it happen at Hoxeyville on a smaller scale, but the noise was so similar and the way it felt in my body was so similar.
Yeah.
It was just like amazing and tear jerking, and like everything was just, it was so cool. I was like, and I remember looking at the guys thinking, wow, just there's no words. It's just neat. And that type of thing happened in those 2 rooms at the end of 2019.
Yeah.
There was only, 50 or 70 people maybe in each room.
Yeah.
But like at the end of our songs, at the end of our show, the vibe was just immense. It was like it was just so strange. I can't even describe the difference, what it is now.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I really don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But there was this incredible energy that existed so big from 14 to 19 for us. And I can remember it growing astronomically and just being so big and so beautiful. And then watching that tweak in 2020 and watching it change, and it's vibrated throughout and changed a lot. Like you said, our music scene is changing.
It's changing, and I hope the more bands form. I hope it comes back to life. I hope. Yeah,
it's interesting to say the least. It's interesting, and I don't know what would need to happen, right? Because I'm a big advocate. What I see in entertainment right now with movies and most things, it's all the member berries. Remember this.
It's all nostalgia.
It's all the member berries for everyone. They're remaking this and remaking that, and originality is lacking so much on a major scale that I wonder and hope that it won't stay that way on a minor scale, right? Because when I was coming up and seeing these things, I wanted to do my own thing and create these new things that I was doing.
Yeah.
Right? And I wanted to do that. And that was something that I thought was neat and creative and good. And I was willing to do it for peanuts.
Yeah.
But you don't see that as much anymore.
No.
You don't see the kids coming out of high school ready to beat down doors and play knocking on the doors on the streets for their neighbors. Hey, we want to play a street party. Come on, and have the neighbors come out and the kids are rocking, and that just doesn't happen anymore. People aren't doing that work, and I think that's a big thing that still needs to happen.
It does, and Kyle actually did a promo video for a band from Bel Air here, heavy metal band.
Nice.
And he did some live footage he filmed for him. Then he had to film an interview section. He asked me to help with the interview, and I went down there and talked to these kids. And the kids are in their 20s, late teens, 20s. And seeing the fear and excitement and the delusion in all of them, it was really it brought me back to a place, I was there at one point, they're all sitting on this couch, terrified as they're being asked questions, not knowing how to, don't know what to do with their hands. They're, they're freaked out. But also the big dreams that they have right now for this band. I just want to go. I just wanted to tell them, you guys are in the best spot. It doesn't get better than where you're at right now.
The dreaming.
When you're in that dreaming section, you haven't been played to these. You haven't done it enough. You played a handful of gigs so far. You haven't done it enough to have your dreams killed. To have dealt with that end of it.
That's what makes your 20s so great.
Yeah.
Actually, the 20s is the most challenging. Spiritually too for humans, because
for sure.
Because spirituality wise and intellectually in our body and our spirit is being launched to Saturn and brought back on its Saturn return in a 10-year cycle. From 20 to 25 you go out, and 25 to 20 to 30 you come back. And it is tough. The world, we realize how fallible we are as humans, and how how much we all fail.
Yeah, and you're lost. You're kind of lost at that point.
Yeah, and that we will let ourselves down more than probably make ourselves proud.
Yeah.
And all the things, right? And reality starts to become more reality, even though we were told all these things. It all kind of sets in more in your 20s, and you're making the mistakes and you're doing the things, and then you're like, oh, well, I got it now. And then your 30s hit and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't got it.
You don't have anything.
I don't got it.
That's what I say. That's what it is.
Turn 30. Like, through your 30s, and then your 40s. I was very fortunate. I feel like my 40s were probably one of my greatest decades. I really enjoyed my 40s. It was amazing, and the end of my 40s obviously has been a little bit of a challenge, and the start of my 50s has been a challenge, but nothing that I'm not seeing the blessings in.
We've always been able to pivot. It sounds like too. You know, since you're athlete, turned musician, turned. You know, what have you done with having a disabled kid, disabled yourself?
Well, thank you.
It seems like something good always comes out of things, you know.
I think it's important in life, no matter what you're served, to try and, you know, make it the best you can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if it's a hot dog, just make
it the best you can.
Make it the best you can, you know? Make it a Chicago dog or whatever your favorite is.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, I think it's important, and I know that, you know, I have been such a fallible individual in my life, let myself down and so many people down, and I try not to do that in business. And I know that I do, and I know how hard it is, but, you know, having, I think, integrity in having that care brought me further than anything. And probably even my talent. Just being able to say, yes, I'll show up, and yes, I will deliver this much, and actually have it be the case. Rather than overpromise and underdeliver, and which I've done plenty of times too, but not with intention, right? Like whether so many other factors happen in promotion that you can't have any bearing on, even knowledge of things. No, not knowing there's another thing happening next weekend or the previous day. Those types of things. Having the internet and those types of community calendars and things helps now. It
does,
It helps with things, but when I was doing it and really, really grinding, there was nothing.
No.
And so I certainly lost my shirt a few times, and I've also broken even, which is, you know, and I also made money, if you will.
It sounds like you're always able to make good things come out of the bad things. So
I try. I can't say it's always great, though, you know, right? But
that's all you can. That's how started this podcast. You know, I can't go ride a bike anymore. I can't play music, so I just had to find something else, another outlet. You know, it just it would have never happened if it wasn't for the health problems that I have. So. You just gotta
see the blessing in the lesson.
Yeah, you gotta make the best of everything. I got it really into. I had a tough spot in my 20s actually that I got really into Ram Dass.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's great, and he has the whole "Be Here Now." Where you need the bad things that happen in your life. If those bad things don't happen, the good things don't happen.
Trust the divinity.
You trust the divinity. Yeah. So it's funny how things work out like that. You know?
Yeah, Alan Watts is great too.
Alan Watts,
If you
maybe it's Alan Watts I'm thinking of. It's whoever did the "Be Here Now" wrote that book.
That's Ram Dass.
That's Ram Dass. That's what I thought.
But those two guys, you know, I have a really tough time with reading comprehension, so I really love audiobooks.
Yeah.
But like Ram Dass, Alan Watts.
Is Alan Watts the anxiety book? Think something about anxiety.
Alan Watts is he's very similar to Ram Dass in the fact that he was a white man that was kind of trained in the Tibetan Buddhist ways and brought it back to the States to give the knowledge to people about that. And he's a great philosopher. As well as Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh, is another guy that I really love. Those three probably.
Ram Dass has helped me through all the tough situations. Just 2 years ago, my mom got sick and passed. You know, we handed out at the funeral the little booklet they give you. You know, it had we're all walking each other home.
Yeah.
You know, so he had like a lesson for every problem you had in your life. There's some Ram Dass that's gonna help you get through that.
You bet.
Know?
Yeah.
You know, it's great.
I certainly probably should revisit those just for the current situation and climate of my life. I think some Thich Nhat Hanh and Ram Dass and Alan Watts would be good for me.
I think something good's you're gonna make something good come out of all this. So
I'm certainly hopeful. It's been a tough shift. My wife and I are working very hard right now to try and make it through. So
yeah, and you got the short-term rentals going on.
Yeah, I'm real close to the second build being done, and I think that's gonna be really great for us.
Yeah,
it's we really hopeful for it to take right off, but it's just creeping slow, but all in due time.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful, really. Learned so much in our first year and gaining more new clients all the time. Yeah, I learned a ton about building.
Yeah.
Being the general contractor of the last 2 builds has been amazingly humbling.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Humbling a lot.
Yeah.
Because I have to use the words that I am very unintelligent.
Yeah.
In this particular sector of life. Can you please help me?
Yeah.
You know, those types of things. Please talk to me as if I'm 2.
Yeah.
You know, you need me to play a song or make you a good meal.
You can do
no,
that.
I can handle that. But, you know, if you want me to build something, I mean, I can paint. I got into the trades. I can drywall and do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because of what I had to do immediately out of high school. But, yeah, I certainly can't do a lot of things either. I'm thankful for excavators and electricians and which I can do electric, but boy, is that hard.
Yeah,
so
and
many things.
You jumped into things though, because you've got a history of doing this. You got Soul Patch that just kind of happened out of nowhere. Getting into music and the start for you, it sounds like, just kind of happened.
Yeah, actually, my first gig as a front man, I was just cleaning. I was working as a bartender in Cocoa Beach, Florida. I was cleaning up the oyster trough, singing to the jukebox, and this guy heard me, and he's like, "Hey, would you sing in my band?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I was 20, and he goes, "Yeah, you sound great, man." And I was like, I played drums, and I sang one song, but I'm not really a front man.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, I think you are." He's like, why don't you come over, we'll organize a rehearsal and come sing some songs. And I was like, okay. Well, come to find out, his name was Mike Klein. He's since passed. But Mike Klein was in 1971, 72. When did Hendrix die? 71?
70 or 71, yeah.
Jimi Hendrix died the year after Jimi Hendrix died. Buddy Miles and Billy Cox, who were the band of Gypsies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They did what was called the Billy Cox Tour.
Yeah, I love Billy Cox.
The white guitar player that played on that 3-piece, his name was Mike Klein.
Oh, okay.
That was the guy that I was in his band. I fronted his band. My first gig as a frontman was the Labor Day Surf Festival in Cocoa Beach, Florida in 1995 that Kelly Slater was surfing at, and there was thousands of people. My second big gig, I opened for Yellow Man.
Okay.
At this big Holiday Inn Jamaica Me Crazy gig. Over 4,000 or 5,000 people on the beach. Craziness. Wow. But those were like some of my first gigs as a 20-year-old, 21-year-old. Wow. And I had never fronted a band or anything. And he threw me a guitar. I think I was 20 or 21, and said, "You should play guitar too." And so I taught myself, and
cool.
Yeah, the rest is kind of history.
Yeah, that's an insane. What's that?
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, you wrap it up. You get a picture of us?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, you got a history of jumping into things, and I think you're going to be. I think everything's probably going to work out for you.
Thank you, brother.
And it seems like so far.
I'm
you got a good track record.
I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
Grateful for all the lessons and the blessings, and thank you for this opportunity to come and chat with you today.
Thanks for doing it, man.
Share any of my stories. Probably didn't get them all, but hopefully some good ones.
Yeah, no.
Let people know that you can be hurt or be down and still do things.
Yeah, no. I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned from this one, so it's definitely
Awesome.
You know, usually I put notes together for these podcasts and I do pre-interviews and all this stuff. I didn't do it with you guys because I knew I didn't need it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I knew I didn't need to do a pre-interview. I knew that you were just gonna go. So.
Well,
Awesome.
if you said you can talk about my life, I'm happy to share it if people want to listen.
Awesome, man. It was good seeing you, Wink.
Likewise, brother.
I can feel it coming on. I can feel